Let's move into main topic number 3. Alou, what is our third main topic today?
Topic number 3 comes to us from Eddie. Hey guys, well, another day, another James Cameron attacking comic book movies and fans. Did you see his most recent quote where he basically blasts MCU and DC characters for acting like they're college students? He says they lack depth because they don't show them having a family life or being willing to stop being heroes for the sake of their kids. What's with this guy constantly feeling like he has to attack comic movies? So, John, what do you think? Is there some truth to Cameron's, critiques, or is he just a hater?
Listen, James Cameron is one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. At one point, he did what no other filmmaker in history has done. He held the number 1 and the number 2 biggest all-time movies in Titanic and Avatar. Still has the biggest movie of all time with Avatar. Still holds 2 of the top 3 spots in it. He's made my favorite action film of all time in True Lies. He, of course, did one of the greatest sci-fi series of all time, Terminator. He's James Cameron. And he's a good Canadian kid. But shut up. Shut up. Shut up. You're making yourself sound stupid. Shut up. You know that scene in Step Brothers? Stop talking. Shut. James, shh. Just make movies and shut up. Okay? So, yeah, this was funny. Like, sometimes James Cameron or one of these other directors, like, they'll get asked a question and be put on the spot, right? And then it's not like they prepared, we act like they prepared a statement, but sometimes they'll be in the middle of like a press line or something. Somebody will fire a question at them, they answer it, and maybe they don't answer it in the way we want them to. But this was different. James Cameron was talking about Avatar and on his own volition just decided to lean into DC and Marvel and attack them. This is James Cameron's quote. When he's first being asked about the characters in Avatar 2, he said this. In the first movie, Avatar, Sam's character leaps off his flying creature and essentially changes the course of history as a result of this crazy, almost suicidal leap of faith. And Zoe's character leaps off a limb and assumes there's going to be some nice big leaves down there that can cushion her fall. But when you're a parent, you don't think that way. So for me, as a parent of 5 kids, I'm saying, what happens when those characters mature and realize that they have a responsibility outside of their own survival? When I look at these big, spectacular films, I'm looking at you, Marvel and DC. It doesn't matter how old the characters are. They all act like they're in college. They have relationships, but they really don't. They never hang up their spurs because of their kids. The things that really ground us and give us power, love, and purpose, those characters don't experience it. And I think that's not the way to make movies. And that comes to us from James Cameron. Great filmmaker, good Canadian kid, big fucking mouth. So here's the thing, James. Let me remind you, in your film, my favorite action film of all time, True Lies, you have a fucking lead character who continues being a super spy, lying to his own wife, has the daughter, and he doesn't hang it up, and that's your fucking movie. So shut up. Then some of these, you paint with such a broad stroke on this. Hawkeye, which I don't like. I didn't like the Hawkeye series at all.
The opening of Endgame.
But when you want to talk about character, even previous to Endgame, they showed us that Hawkeye is trying to balance this thing about his family and his kids, and he needs to get out of this life because of his family. Then you get with the events of Endgame and all that kind of stuff. Then you move into the Hawkeye series, where everything's about him trying to just be dedicated to his kids, but the needs of the world outside pull at him. And listen, I didn't even like the Hawkeye series. And Hawkeye is not alone. Even if you look at T'Challa, you're looking at a guy who's struggling and trying to figure out balancing the expectations and the responsibilities that come from a parent, from a country, what his role and destiny is in all this. How does even the role of his country come out with balancing the responsibilities to his country versus his country's responsibilities to the rest of the planet, all that kind of stuff. These characters are there. And some of them are college students. And some of them are this kind of stuff. And look, if it sounds like I'm upset, I'm not upset at what James Cameron said. And again, James, we could sit here and go through a laundry list of your characters in your movies that are exactly what you just described. So shut up. But the thing that makes me upset is because I love James Cameron so much. He is such a great filmmaker. And this is one of those situations where he did not need to say this. He didn't need to say this. And all he's going to do is start alienating people. Look, I'm a James Cameron fan for life. I mean, this guy could, I don't know, kick a puppy, and I'd still go, well, that's James. I mean, I'd probably get over at some point. I'm going to be a James Cameron fan for life. But there's going to be a lot of people he's going to start to alienate with this kind of bullshit talk. And I get it. Your reign as the most successful filmmaker ever is threatened by the comic book genre. That doesn't mean you need to start taking shots at the comic book genre or the fans that follow it. So, yeah. And like, maybe if you didn't do the exact thing you're just complaining about now until your new movie, maybe we would have something to talk about. But James, I love you. So out of love, out of pure love in my heart, shut up and stop talking about comic book movies, you idiot. Just stop. Anyway, Rob, you hear James Cameron's topic. You're as big of a fan of Cameron as I am.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. What do you make of his comment?
Well, I mean,
guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's episode, True Classic. This brand new sponsor has the absolute best fitting t-shirts that a man can buy. Finding the right t-shirt with a little bit of a dad bod is incredibly frustrating. Most t-shirts are either way too tight on your gut or look way too big and boxy. You're not in high school anymore, and it's time to upgrade. True Classic has already helped over 2 million men finally get a better fit at an affordable price. And the John Campea Show viewers and listeners get access to the best deal they offer. For a limited time only, get 25% off using the code CAMPEA at trueclassic.com. Look, you and I both know that almost all of men's t-shirts are designed to look good on skinny models with six-packs. But let's be honest, that's not most of us. True Classic tees taper off towards the bottom, but they fit tighter around the chest and shoulders. It's time to highlight your best attributes with a t-shirt that you can always confidently throw on. Like most of you guys, ever since college, I've always struggled to find proper fitting t-shirts that are comfortable. Well, True Classic, from the moment I put on the shirt they sent me, solves it. And True Classic doesn't just stop at tees. From polos and workout shirts with the same flattering fit. Upgrade your wardrobe with True Classic. Get 25% off at trueclassic.com with the promo code CAMPEA. Free shipping included on purchases over $100. 100% risk-free guarantee with a 30-day refund policy. Stay classy with True Classic. Your dad bod will thank you.
I think I kind of understand. I mean, he was specifically, look, when you're talking about the fact that the superhero genre has dominated both two of our major studios in terms of their output, it's become so important. I think the repetitive nature of those certain stories, I mean, you could go back and you could look at the family nature of Guardians of the Galaxy, Hawkeye, Spider-Man and his relationship with Aunt
What was
May.
Miss Marvel but family?
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
Yeah, it's all about family.
I mean, there is, but I think what he was specifically talking about, things like parenthood and all that, I think also a lot of these filmmakers, they're pointing fingers at comic book movies, but I think there's a much wider, they're talking about something wider, which is a diversity of storytelling, a diversity of meaning. I mean, when we were all growing up, even in the 70s, there was just a lot more different kinds of subject matter being attacked or addressed by major studio motion pictures. And that landscape has now become dominated by superhero films. Now, the funny thing is, James Cameron's got a huge superhero, not a superhero, but an alien franchise picture coming out. And just because this particular iteration of it is dealing with the fact that you have Neytiri and Jake Sully now have kids, so it's literally an alien family, you know, I think his words might be a little ill considered.
Chris, you heard James Cameron's little rant there. What did you think about it?
I mean, Scott Lang is balancing family, right? Tony Stark balances family.
You guys got him shook.
It's
He's beside himself.
He's so upset. He's so upset. I just don't understand this seeming trend with filmmakers of needing to dunk on other films. Because here's the thing. Winners don't dunk on others to elevate themselves. They welcome and relish competition and continue to elevate. So just do that. We love a challenge. Just accept that some people are enjoying these kinds of films, especially when your film has also received the critique of being, you know, recycled bubblegum, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people have said, oh, it's just Ferngully or Dances with Wolves in Space, which, hey, most movies, most IP is some kind of story we've heard before, right? Everything can go back to Shakespeare or the Bible or all those stories we've heard.
What is this saying? There are 7 stories. Is that what it's 7?
Yeah.
There's a thing in storytelling that says there really are only 7 stories and different iterations of them.
Exactly. So we can just appreciate when people tell those stories really, really well. So rather than having to, I mean, essentially just poo-poo somebody else's story and storytelling, let's stay in our lane. Let's focus on what we're doing. And why don't we talk about the great achievements in filmmaking instead of having to dog on someone else? That just seems really, really low hanging fruit. If we're going to talk about people behaving like college students, maybe don't behave like a junior high bully.
Ooh.
Also, I mean, like I pointed out in Endgame, but there's also the great moment where Scott Lang goes home to his house, you know,
Yeah.
and then he sees his daughter, and in that one moment, he's thinking, I've lost all of this time with my own daughter as she's grown up and I wasn't there.
Well, the whole premise of the first Ant-Man movie is about a guy basically trying to save his family.
I mean, the climax ends in his daughter's bedroom
Yeah.
on a train set. So
Yeah, and again, I just don't understand why, when that wasn't the question that was posed to him, why he suddenly had to use the platform to start dogging on the most popular form of cinema. By the way, the most popular genre that is single-handedly responsible for keeping the movie theaters and the entertainment and the movie industry alive today right now. I mean, also big assist to Tom Cruise's Top Gun. But I mean, comic book movies are the ones that are keeping movie theaters alive. So anyway, James Cameron, we love you, but shut up. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this whole thing? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts.